Most people will never save $10,000. Not because they can't, because they won't. There's a difference, and most people spend their entire lives pretending there isn't. My name's Joe. This channel is about building real money. Not tips, not hacks, not feel-good nonsense dressed up as financial advice. Let's get into it. Here's what zero savings actually costs you, and nobody runs this math. Every month you carry no buffer, you're paying a poverty tax. It's not theoretical. Add it up. The $35 overdraft fee because your paycheck hits Friday but the car insurance pulls Thursday. The $12 late fee on the electric bill because you were short and hoping to push it one more week. The payday loan at 300% interest because the transmission went and the card was already maxed and you needed the car to get to work. The emergency room bill because you put off the doctor visit for 8 months and now it's worse and more expensive than it ever needed to be. Broke is expensive. More expensive than most people ever calculate because they never sit down and actually add it up. They absorb the hits, call it bad luck, move on. It's not bad luck, it's the price of having no margin. And here's the part that will keep you up at night. That money, those fees, those interest payments, those penalties, it's not disappearing. It's going directly into the pockets of every institution that profits from your instability. Banks, lenders, insurance companies. The entire system is structured to extract maximum value from people who can least afford it. You're not just losing money, you're being farmed. In the worst part, most people never connect the dots. They think the overdraft fee is a one-time thing. They think the payday loan is a one-time thing. They think each hit is isolated. It's not. It's a system. And if you don't have savings, you are permanently on the wrong side of it. The behaviors keeping you at zero aren't accidents. They're habits, grooved in deep. Some inherited, some chosen. All of them expensive. And it's never one thing. It's the Netflix you watch twice a month, the gym membership you've had since January that you're definitely going to start using, the Uber Eats order because it was a long day and cooking felt impossible, the group chat that turned into a $60 dinner you couldn't really afford but didn't want to be the one to cancel on, the upgrade to the larger phone storage because the pop-up kept appearing and you just wanted it to stop. None of those felt like financial decisions. All of them were. The average American household wastes over $400 a month on spending they can't account for a week later. That's nearly $5,000 a year, funding nothing, building nothing, becoming nothing. That's your $10,000. It's already there, you're just sending it in the wrong direction. So what actually happens when you cross $10,000? Your brain chemistry shifts. Chronic financial stress runs on cortisol, the same hormone triggered by physical danger. Your body cannot tell the difference between a predator and an overdue bill. Both activate the same survival wiring. And cortisol destroys long-term thinking. You cannot plan under it. You cannot negotiate under it. You make short-term decisions that feel rational in the moment and look insane 6 months later. $10,000 turns the alarm off. Enough that your thinking clears, enough that you stop reacting and start building, enough that when the next real opportunity shows up, you actually see it instead of being too exhausted and too stressed to notice. That cognitive shift alone is worth more than the number in the account. Then the identity shift hits, and this one catches people completely off guard. There's a version of you that expects to be broke. It doesn't announce itself, but it's running in the background of every decision you make. The way you rehearse asking for a raise for 3 weeks and then don't do it because what if they say no and things get weird? The way you see a job posting that pays $20,000 more and talk yourself out of applying because you probably don't qualify. The way you smile and say you're good when someone asks. That version of you has evidence on its side. Every month you ended at zero gave it more. $10,000 changes the evidence. Not your income, not your circumstances. The evidence your own brain uses to decide what kind of person you are and what you're actually capable of building. Once you've built it, you know you can build it. That's how identity works. You become what you repeatedly prove to yourself. And for the first time, you're proving something different. Something that compounds the same way money does, slowly at first, then faster than you expect.
Here's what $10,000 actually buys you that has nothing to do with money: the ability to walk away. From the job degrading you, from the client disrespecting you, from the landlord trying to squeeze an extra 100 out of you every month, from any situation where the only reason you're still there is that you can't afford to leave. Most people have never experienced that. They've spent their entire adult lives trapped in situations they'd exit immediately if they had options. They sit through the Monday morning meeting where their manager takes credit for their work and saying nothing. They accept the 2% raise and say thank you. They keep the client who emails at 10 p.m., changes the brief 3 times, and pays late every single month because losing that invoice right now isn't an option. They laugh at the joke that isn't funny because they need the shift covered next weekend.
$10,000 doesn't make you rich, but it makes you someone who can say no. And in a world built to keep you desperate and compliant, that ability is worth more than most people ever realize until they finally have it. Now here's where people destroy their own progress. They hit $10,000 and feel like they've arrived. They haven't arrived. They've got cash in the account for the first time in years, and their brain misreads it as the finish line. So they spend it, and 3 months later the balance reads $800 and the panic is back. And now there's a new story. I had $10,000 once, said with the same resignation as everything else. The milestone only works if you protect it like it matters, because it does. Move the bulk of it somewhere with friction, a high-yield savings account, a brokerage account, somewhere that requires an actual decision to access, not just a tap on your phone at 11 p.m. when your judgment is compromised. Keep a small emergency buffer easy to reach, but build real distance between you and the temptation to reward yourself back to zero. Freedom is fragile when you treat it casually. Now the math. Pay attention here because this is where excuses go to die. If you make $40,000 after taxes, roughly $3,300 a month, and you put aside $500, you hit $10,000 in 20 months. That's it. Less than 2 years. Most people spend longer than that complaining about being broke without attempting a single strategy. Not one. Just the same conversation on repeat while the calendar keeps moving and nothing changes. Want to get there faster? Here's how. Add one income stream. Any skill you already have, writing, building, fixing, driving, teaching, priced properly and worked an extra 8 to 10 hours a week, generates $800 to $1,500 a month. At that rate, you're looking at $10,000 in under a year. Tax refund arrives, it goes straight in. Not celebrated, not split, not partially rewarded. In. Open your bank app right now. Scroll back 90 days. You'll find the Spotify you forgot you upgraded to premium, the Amazon purchase that arrived and you barely remember ordering, the app subscription that renewed at $12.99 and you have no idea what it even does anymore, the Thursday night bar tab that started as 2 drinks and ended very differently. That's not judgment, that's just what the statement shows. Most people find $200 to $400 a month sitting right there, not hidden, just ignored. Find it. Stop it. Send it somewhere it actually builds something. Automate the savings transfer the day after payday. Money you never see doesn't tempt you. Set it up once. Let the math work while you're busy living your life. Stack those moves consistently, and $10,000 stops feeling like a goal. It becomes inevitable. But here's what nobody warns you about, and this part matters. The last stretch is where most people fall apart. Around $8,000 or $9,000, your brain starts running a specific kind of argument against you. The couch you've had for 4 years is suddenly unbearable. Your phone is 2 years old and everyone has the new one. Your friends are booking that trip to Nashville or Cancun or wherever, and the group chat is blowing up, and you've been grinding for months with nothing to show for it visibly. So you check the account. You've got $8,200 in there, and your brain says, you could just go. You've earned it. You can rebuild. That's not reward talking. That's sabotage with a friendly voice. The trip costs $1,400, plus the new couch, plus the phone. And just like that, you're back at $3,000 wondering what happened. Recognize it for exactly what it is. Resistance. Not reality, not emergency, not need. Resistance.
push through it anyway. The last $2,000 are the most important money you'll ever save, not because of the number, but because finishing proves you're someone who finishes, and that proof follows you into every financial decision you make for the rest of your life. Once you're there, protect it and put it to work. A high-yield savings account at 4 to 5% generates $400 to $500 a year on $10,000 without you touching the principal. That's not retirement income, but it's your money generating more money while you sleep, and experiencing that for the first time changes how you think about every dollar going forward. From there, the math compounds differently. $10,000 becomes $25,000. $25,000 becomes the foundation for real investing. Real investing becomes the mechanism that eventually makes showing up to a job you hate completely optional. But none of that exists without the first $10,000. And the first $10,000 doesn't exist without a decision. Not the right moment, not a better salary, not a perfect plan with every variable accounted for. A decision. $10,000 is not a destination. It's a proof of concept. It's the exact point where you stop being someone things happen to and start being someone who makes things happen. Most people never cross it, not because the math is complicated, because the identity shift required to get there is harder than they're willing to attempt. Staying broke is familiar. Building something new is uncomfortable. And most people choose familiar every single time. You're watching this video. That already puts you somewhere different. Now prove it. Drop your current number in the comments. 0, 500, 3,000, doesn't matter where you are. Say it out loud. Make it real. Because the people who say it publicly are the ones who actually do it. What's your number?